Hi everyone, this is GREYMOND. We're going to be answering questions about OCD recovery. These are the questions that you left below my videos from the previous weeks. I'm sorry for the long delay between the holidays and the clients. Things kind of got sidetracked. So I am back on track now, and we'll just pick it up right here. The one thing I wanted to say before we start is that, this is just the beginning of the year, 2018. It's really important that, if you were waiting and are not sure whether you would like to start the recovery process, right now is a great place to start. Don't be scared of the anxiety. The anxiety will happen. Put it this way. When you are going from thought to thought, so you have a thought, you solve it, whether with physical compulsions or mental ruminations, and then, a day later or whatever, you get a new thought or a different detail from this existing thought, and you get right back into it. And all the time you're experiencing anxiety. So the level of anxiety is still high, even though you're solving the thoughts, because you're just going from one thought to another. When you do recovery, it's difficult. It's exposure. You feel fear. You're not reacting to the fear. Therefore, the fear stays. So and again, you experience anxiety, right? So you're experiencing anxiety in both of these cases. But in one case, you're recovering. So let's get past the fact that it feels bad and it's anxiety and it's tough. Yes, it's really tough. Believe me, I had extreme OCD because I couldn't even leave the house at one point, believe it or not, right? So I understand that it feels bad, but to push through, to recover, you need to do the work. So let's get past the fact that it's the feelings and it's anxiety and it's tough, and let's just do it. Just step over that and let's do it. And let's make 2018 the year that you recover. So that is my message to you. Now we'll get started with the questions. So, okay, question number one. I'm really struggling too. I wish I had gone into recovery before it got to this point, but I didn't know about ERP and I'm still struggling to find a therapist. Okay, so it's not really a question. I don't read these before I start the video, so sometimes there's long pauses because of that. Just bear with me. With this, when you are looking for a therapist, make sure they understand how to do ERP. And especially if you're in a situation where you have pure obsessional type of OCD, meaning no physical compulsions or very little physical compulsions, really, they have to understand. And if they don't understand, maybe you can tell them and enlighten them that exposure part of like the word ERP, right? Exposure response prevention, right? So the exposure part in case of pure O is the thought itself. So in case of a physical action, you're exposed, in case of like a physical type of OCD, such as cleaning OCD, you're exposing yourself to something that you find unclean, and over exposing yourself, you get over it, right? In terms of a pure O type of OCD, you have to expose yourself to the thought, which you're already exposed because it's already coming in, but the reaction has to change. So the reason why you haven't recovered up to this point is because the reaction was wrong, right? You reacted with fear, you have to react with indifference, as if the thought is not there. So again, going back to what I'm saying all the time, is the thought is over here, it's screaming at you, it's telling you this is the end of the world, you have to pay attention, you have to check, you have to analyze, whatever. Not listening, not paying attention, letting it be there, and you're just pushing through. Because there is a connection between this thought and fear. So when somehow some trigger brings up this thought, fear is activated in your brain. Okay? And that connection gets stronger every time you're using that neural pathway, to put it simply. Do you know what I mean? For that neural pathway to go away, to break that connection between the fear receptor and your specific thought, your specific trigger, right? You have to stop reacting with fear. You have to stop accepting that neural pathway as valid. Your brain doesn't keep things that you don't use. So you don't use it, it's gonna die out. But it's kind of like when you work out and you're using certain muscle a lot, right? The more you use that muscle in basic way, I know it's not really kind of like that with working out, but in basic terms, right? You work out the muscle grows, right? Same thing here. So don't work it out, just let it be. Let it be over here. It can scream, give you anxiety, tell you whatever it wants to tell you. Let it be over here. This is a physical thing that's working on autopilot. This is not metaphysical. It's not some, weird science or anything like that. This is physical situation that we need to solve, and the physical situation gives you weird thoughts, but it's still a physical situation, So, and again, because this is happening to you, whenever people talk about their OCD, they're saying, my OCD tells me, my mind tells me, my brain tells me, right? So you are the victim here, but let's not continue to be the victim. Let's start working on it. Let's start recovering. But don't attribute the thoughts that you're getting with OCD to yourself. It has nothing to do with you. It's coming on autopilot, And I say this many times too. It's like your printer printing. Your printer is printing random things. You're not responsible for what your printer is printing, but you are responsible for your reaction to what it's printing. If you react with fear, it continues to print endlessly. For years and years and decades, doesn't matter. So let's do different to get different result, right? So, okay, next question. And then going back to what I was saying, as usual, I get off track. Your therapist, psychiatrist, specialist needs to understand what I'm saying. If they don't understand what I'm saying, they might have a slightly different opinion on it, but they need to understand this process. If they don't get this process, how are they gonna help you recover? And I know I say this all the time too, is for OCD is not as common as some other issues. So most, you are trying to find a specialist within the world of non-specialists. Do you know what I mean? It's right now, based on, what I see, I've been doing this for 8 years, and my clients usually, when they come to me, they have psychiatrists, psychologists, all kinds of people who help them. And I would say we are looking at, it depends, it varies every month, but I would say 7 out of 10 or 8 out of 10 don't have a clue of what they're talking about. Some of them are really bad. Some of them are kind of but only, 20 to 30% of the people, of the therapists actually know what they're talking about. So if you can't find the right one, don't be afraid to walk out the door and say, you know what, it's not working for me. They don't own you. You don't owe anything to them. They're providing a service. If that service is not good enough, don't waste your time, because if you're not getting better, it probably means you're doing compulsions and most likely getting worse. So don't waste your time, push through. And at the end of the day, you don't really need anybody to recover. You can push through on your own, So it's just much more difficult on your own than if somebody is helping you. So, and, not to kind of toot my own horn, but, if you would like to do the recovery program, my door is always open. And, I do have pretty high success rate, but, I'm not trying to push you into anything or anything like that. I recovered on my own, and, many people on here just follow the videos and recover on their own. So it's, it's just pushing. That's what matters, is just pushing until full recovery, not giving up, not listening to people who say you won't recover, you can't recover, just don't listen to them, Person writes, I'm really struggling. And, if you're really having a hard time right now, if you're really struggling, you have to examine what you are doing wrong. And I can pretty much guarantee you that you are analyzing, seeking reassurance. If it's bureau, from yourself, most likely. The analyzing is really the worst type of reassurance, because not that it's okay to go ask somebody or whatever. It's not, and it really kind of hurts relationships. So it's never a good idea. But when you're talking about, you're spending, say, all night thinking about something or all day thinking about something, that's hours and hours of reinforcing that neural pathway, and really making it extremely powerful. As you're doing that, your anxiety goes up, so it's harder to pull back because your anxiety is at a 10. So so I would say really focus on where you are mentally, what you're allowing yourself mentally in terms of analyzing the thought, and that's really where you need to pull back. The more you pull back in that area, the better you will feel, the stronger you will feel. You will see yourself that it works. And as you will see yourself that it works, you don't have to take my word for it. You'll see in your own example, and then you'll feel strength from that, and it will be easier to continue. So just so you know, guys, because I've missed 2 weeks, this is probably going to be 3-part video. So we're going to do 30 minutes today, 30 minutes the next day, and then probably the next day, because I need to catch up on all these messages. I don't like to skip messages or miss them because I've been there and I know what OCD recovery is like. So whatever I can do to help, I do. So. Hi, Ali. I have been having OCD thoughts about clients I work with, and my anxiety is so severe that it seems to radiate to them. I keep seeing body language as if they are interested in me, and it causes even more anxiety on top of the thoughts. How do you get past the secondary anxiety that is caused from them seemingly responding to my anxiety? The thoughts are sexual in nature, and it makes me very uncomfortable because it induces the fear that something will happen and all the negativity that goes with it. I have been disregarding the thoughts, and my OCD has improved a lot, but the fear is still there, and their reaction is making it more difficult to recover. So again, the paying attention. So every time you have this situation happen, it's exposure. I would say before you even go into work, right? Or as you're entering work, preparing yourself that, or as a new client comes in, right before the situation, the sooner before you can catch it, the better the impact. Saying, okay, I'm putting myself in an OCD situation. I will feel anxious and it will be fine. I will choose to not respond. Then the situation happens. Again, you get anxious when the thought comes in, the anxiety goes up. You do nothing about the anxiety stays there for a little while. You continue to do nothing. Then it will go away. And just, the good thing about this is that you have a lot of opportunity to practice. So it's just all day practicing. Every time somebody is coming in giving you anxiety, that's an opportunity for you to make a step forward on the road to recovery, to weaken that neural pathway, and to continue going. So it's important. So next question is, can you be cured from OCD? Yes. Yes, you can be. Don't let anybody tell you. Guys, this is my main message, on this channel is, yes, you can recover. You can recover. I am living proof that you can recover. You can see how busy I am, between channels, clients, messages going from everywhere, ebooks, apps, all this kind of stuff. I have 2 kids, it's a lot, and if all this stress hasn't gotten me, then this is recovery. This is what recovery looks like. You're able to function even under stress. It's fine. You know what I mean? And you can do this. I'm not the most strongest willed person in the world, believe me. So if I can do it, you can do it. And if somebody says that, oh, well, you can't do it, or I've never seen anybody recover. Well, if your therapist is telling you they've never seen anybody recover, then you probably shouldn't be with that therapist, honestly. It's like if a surgeon said, I've never performed a successful surgery, would you really, come on. So next question. Thank you for the video. I have pure sexual type of OCD, harm OCD, and I think I could possibly learn to quiet down the thoughts if I truly could trust my false memories were untrue. So, okay, so what you're saying here is that if you get 100% reassurance, then you'll do the work. That's not how OCD works. You first have to do the work, and then you will feel better, and then you will get that reassurance in the end. As I cannot possibly be 100% sure, this leaves the door open for me to doubt whether it's OCD or reality. And again, it leaves the door open for you to either choose to doubt or choose not to doubt. The more you choose to doubt, the worse the thoughts get, the worse anxiety gets, the more compelled you feel to continue to react, to choose to react. Or you can choose not to react, feel the fear, it will be tough, but then you'll recover because you're not using that neural pathway. The thoughts will eventually, they'll start to slow down, they'll stop, you'll recover. So that is the choice that you have here. This makes me not allow myself to quiet the thoughts because maybe I deserve them if I'm guilty, and maybe I deserve to be punished even more. Do you get what I mean? Please reply if you got any tips. I'm stuck. Best wishes. It's just pushing through. It's just because it's, this topic versus any other topic, it doesn't matter. Your mind, we all have very creative minds that can come up with anything. Don't take these thoughts, again, like what I was saying in the beginning of the show, has nothing to do with you. It's not part of you. Thoughts are coming. Your printer is printing something. Big deal. Stop listening. Stop reacting. Stop. Guilt might come in. You know what I mean? Because your mind is activating not only fear, but other... You know what I mean? It's mimicking the feelings you would feel if the thought was true. So the guilt, the fear, everything, the anxiety. So you can do that because, again, it's just a printer printing. It's printing thoughts, feelings, could be printing images. Doesn't matter. It's over here. You're living here. Doesn't matter what's happening there. And that's how you push through. And you'll see, dude, you'll feel better. Not instantly, because that neural pathway is pretty strong right now, so you have to give it some time to kind of die out, but you will see. I would say power through, really, not like halfway, really power through this, no energy. You will feel better in about, I'd say a week, 2 weeks, you will see a huge improvement. But power through, not halfway, Everybody's leaving such nice comments, guys. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to help you guys. It's honestly, and a lot of it comes, it's kind of because I've experienced it, and I remember how I felt when nobody helped me in a way. Do you know what I mean? Like there was not a lot of information about it on the internet at the time. It's like, I was younger, and it's I get it, and that's why, I'm not gonna stop doing this, so it's, I'm happy, I'm really happy to help, and then also, just, it's so amazing where, when I talk to clients, and I remember how they were when they came to me, like level 10 out of 10 anxiety, and they're feeling better and they're recovering, and it's so great to see, and they're all just pushing through, it's just with everything they've got, they're pushing through and they're seeing results, it's amazing. Next question is, hello Ali, thank you. I was doing fairly well in my OCD recovery with acceptance and surrender to my anxiety feelings and OCD until the holidays when my in-laws and the wife's family came and stayed way too long. As a result, I tried to apply acceptance and surrender to the situation, but it did not work at all. I couldn't wait for them to leave, thinking it would be the answer to my anxiety. Of course, since they've left, I've been kicking myself for failing to accept and surrender. Is this OCD? Okay. So holidays and additional real-life stress does usually makes OCD worse. That's how it was for me. That's how it is for a lot of people. I wouldn't say everybody, but for quite a bit of people, quite a lot of people. So it's normal. Right now, I don't like to kind of dwell on the past of what you did wrong. We just need to see what you did wrong and then fix it, because okay, there's a few things I wanted to mention here. So the more you pay attention to the thought, to the situation, and even if, say, for example, you're not really right now, like you're saying that you're kicking yourself for failing to accept, so it's still a negative emotion you're sending about this thought, about this fear, about this OCD to your brain. Do you know what I mean? It's not reassurance per se, but it's still a negative emotion. So your brain, because that part of the mind is the brain is reactionary, right? It sees that you are sending a negative emotion about that specific thought. Maybe not fear, but still negative emotion. And it reacts, it takes it to mean that it's important. Because you're still sending emotion about it. You're still paying attention in a negative way. Maybe not be a reassurance way, but negative way. So no negativity. What's done is done. Yes, you kind of, had a setback over the holidays. Who cares? Pushing through right now. So that's really important. This happens a lot, where people kind of, just have negative feelings towards OCD, which everybody would, but, that friction still creates, kind of reinforces that that pathway a little bit in the way too. So I would say just watch that. So okay, and then with the person says acceptance. So this is not really for the person asking, but more for everybody else. So when we're talking about accepting OCD thoughts, because I get this question every week. So again, just to reinforce, accepting OCD thoughts does not mean to accept the content of the thought. It means to accept the thought because it's there. It's physically present in your mind. It's occupying some area of your mind. It exists. So it exists. We accept it as existing, but only in this corner. Over here it exists. I'm here. I don't care that it exists over there. That's the attitude. That's the correct way of accepting the thought. You're accepting the thought and while not paying attention to the content. So right now, I would say, just going back to the question, no negative emotions. You reacted the wrong way. Who cares? Start reacting the right way now. So next question is, hi Ali, thank you for your help so far. I had just one question. I'm at the stage where my therapist and psychiatrist think that I should go on medication. I have never wanted for personal reasons, but I am clearly struggling when I am out of therapy for more than a week. I know how you talk about constant refusal of the thoughts, and I believe that I can do this very well, but I am just struggling to figure out why I don't feel much better. It's obvious that I keep getting new obsessions that sneak up on me, but I just can't seem to figure out how to refuse them quick enough. Thanks again for all your help. And with that, I would say, and again, I don't want to, kind of offer my help because, I don't know, I feel kind of weird, it's like tooting your own horn kind of idea. But honestly, having a session with me would be, or doing a month with me is what I'm saying, doing a month package with me, we can probably, based on what you're saying, this is something I see every day, in this kind of situation. So I can get you out of it and you don't have to go on medication, So, it's obviously up to you. The reason why I say this is you've already made steps forward. You're pushing and you're just struggling. So you probably have some situations that are, kind of, you're not realizing that you're doing something wrong, like technical stuff. So it doesn't seem like anything that we can't get past. And again, if I can help you and you don't have to go on medication, then obviously I will. If I know I can help, then I say that I can help. But again, I'm not like trying to push it or anything. I don't know. It just feels awkward for me. But anyways, if not, then push yourself. If you've already made steps forward, you don't need medication. It's, in my non-doctor, non-professional, but can help people recover opinion, it's what I see with clients is that, once they make a few steps forward, they just keep going. Yes, they have steps back and, slip-ups and all of this, but they just, more sooner or later, they'll recover. You know what I mean? If they can power through the beginning, then they recover. And you've already done that. So I don't see the need. If you're asking me for my opinion, I don't see the need of medication for you, based on what you're saying, Again, it's, it's kind of, depends on people's opinions, right? So you have to make up your own mind. So next question is Ali. I've had OCD my entire life, but I didn't realize that what it was until I was diagnosed recently. I've been in a terrible cycle for over 2 months. I've been hospitalized, lost 40 pounds. I lost a lot of weight too when I had OCD as well. Tried medication, nothing was working. I stumbled on your channel and you have saved me. Aww. In the beginning stages of recovery. I understand what is going on with me, and whenever I'm struggling, I use your videos as a pep talk. Good. It's just pushing through. I feel blessed to have. Oh, this is so sweet. And she says in the end, right? She says, I hope everyone reading this does understand recovery is possible, and that's the whole thing. I'm not against medication. I'm not against all this, stuff. In some cases, it's needed. But it's needed only in about, 10% cases, 5% cases where the person is, on the brink of suicide or in a very severe situation. Most cases, and I don't see, I can tell you this. In 8 years, I think I've heard maybe once or twice people say, in 8 years, and as you know, I work all day and I work on the weekends. So, if say I talk to, somewhere between 6 to 10 people a day, right? All this time, right? Then, it's obviously, some people, like, it's not every time a new person, so there's that as well, right? But I'm talking to people every day, and I've never seen, except for maybe, like I said, like maybe once or twice, medication take thoughts away. The person will say like, well, maybe, I'm not sure, maybe kind of I feel a little bit better, something maybe is happening, but I have this anxiety and I'm doing reassurance. Well, if it was taking the thoughts away, you wouldn't have the anxiety or have to do reassurance, right? So, that's where I'm coming from with the medication. If it actually worked for anxiety, I would be all for it. But, and again, I'm not a doctor, but in practical terms, I don't see it. So, and again, when I recovered, medication was not a factor. I took medication, I stopped medication. When I stopped medication, I didn't feel worse, because I stopped as I started to figure out how to do this, how to recover. I just stopped, which was not a good idea because I got crazy side effects, but don't do that ever. But, it didn't make a difference. Didn't make a difference at all, but this did. This recovery work did. So it's just, guys, just seriously, make 2018 the year that you will recover, So I'm going to end here, and there's going to be part 2 and there's going to be part 3, and I am filming them all today, so you'll see them, in the next day or in the day after. So, thank you guys so much for subscribing to this channel, for supporting this channel. I will have videos coming up. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. If you would like to do the recovery program, all the information is on youhaveocd.com. You can sign up from there as well. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.